Alright everybody, welcome in. This is going to be another Stormgate cast and I'm Algorithmore. And this is going to be a series of games featuring my friend and your friend and everyone's friend, GameFriend. And his opponent, also my friend and your friend and everyone's friend, is Dutchy. And I think these may have been actually custom matches. I think they're practice games played out between these two. But that might have been them matching up on ladder 2. I'm not 100% sure. But we have a little bit of early action to start out. The Hexen's trying to get a bob, and I know GameFriend's not going to let her do that. But what's this? We got a little sneaky vault over here on the top side. We'll see what that turns into. Hexen going the long way round. She's going to go through the back door here. Oh, there's a little flower back there. I didn't know that, but she did. She's going to come back. Well, the scout also found a healing flower, and so usually the dog wins that battle, although I think with the skull, the Hexed might win that battle. So the dog runs away again. And she goes back to picking at some bobs, but oh, the dog ran right past the vault. Ay, I guess you don't put your vaults right next to healing cabbages. So we'll see what happens there. Clearly GameFriend now knows and he's able to micro. Finally we get forcing Dutchy to bring the Hexen home. There is a vault out back home here. There is also a greater shrine, sorry, I was thinking elder shrine, but there's a greater shrine on the way. And we know what that means, I think. I think that means this is going to be a proxy dawn. Proxy dawn. Meaning we're going to get some Maggies popping out here, maybe. There's one. Is the other one going to pop out here? I wonder if he's got a charge available or does not have the money for it yet. But here comes a single mag. Uses its initial trample. There is a hedgehog out, which is going to be able to help against this. That was a pretty good trample. And going for the bobs. Well, you have no more trample yet. So this is just going to be about punching bobs in the face. And there we go. Second trample triggered. I don't see another Magmadon coming yet. So far, it's not. I don't think any damage has been dealt. I mean, damage has been dealt, but nothing's died yet. And the Magmadon just walks out. There is a Hellborn there. So, not a couple Dawns, which I've seen before. The Hellborn and a Mag. Now, some regen on that Mag would be great. Of course, on Ruination, there's no chance. But even just some white health regen would be nice. And now these units pop out. We do see one of the Lancers go down. The Hellborn did some taking to start, but there's a Vulcan here now. And it looks like this vault might go down. Same thing with the Magmadon goes down, and the Hellborn's being chased away by the Hedgehog, and I think the Hedgehog's going to get the Hellborn as well. And sure enough, it pops. So we've got a boiled up Vulcan. Look at that. Look at that warm rotating barrel there. Just look at that. Wow. So many bullets shooting out of there. It's red hot. But bye-bye Vault. And now we'll see what Dutchy's follow-up is. He does have a third base on the way. But so does GameFriend with it almost finished. Of course, with the accelerated production of the Vanguard faction. And a mech bay over here, another mech bay. And what's that, another Rax or Hangar Bay? Going up to Hangar Bay. Another vault over here. Any Elder Shrine? Not quite yet. Something was going on there. All those workers got put onto Therium. I wonder. I've heard Dutchy complaining about a rally point, and that might be the one that he's talking about. Although I do switch from Therium to Luminite sometimes and back. But I attribute that more to me being a noob than anything else. So I don't know if that's really a normal strat. Looks like GameFriend here has got a little bit of a force. Got a couple Vulcans, 3 Hedgies. And there is a skull trying to scout out what's going on, but it explodes beforehand. Now, can you really siege from the high ground here? I know you can do that with like a Saber or an Atlas or something, but with Hedgehogs and Vulcans? I mean... Okay, you can jump jet down the woods. Didn't think of that before. There's a skull up here being like, what you doing? Sees the whole army. Now we do have some Weavers. That's actually kind of good if you're facing off against some Vulcans. And here they come. We get a lash on one of the Hedgehogs. Lashing Hedgehogs is also not necessarily bad, because they're so speedy. It's hard to get a kill on them with the Infernal faction. So Weavers can help there. But Dutchy just staying at home, and GameFriend's backed up to the Vision Tower. Where did those Vulcans go? Another Skull trying to come up here, but there's a Hornet. Sky Mine dropped out here. Bob's transferring. Oh, where did those Vulcans go? Maybe they got put in a drop or something? Am I missing a drop? There we go. Like, is there a drop? Here we go. Vulcan drop. Where else would Vulcans go other than in a drop? So it looks like I probably missed the initial drop here, where I think some of these imps got taken out. Of course, we saw a bunch running away, but it wasn't a full saturated base. Now we have, ooh, Skull conjured by Dutchy to try and get vision on that high ground there. And, oh, no imps going down, though. I guess it takes more shots than that. And even though this is annoying, it's not clear that this got anything really done here. And Shadow Flyers take out the drop, but the Vulcans do get put down. And they're just going to get whatever damage they were able to get out in that last gasp. They may have got some imps from this base initially. I think I may have missed that first drop. But that's the answer to where did those Vulcans go. And these Shadow Flyers are on their way somewhere. Where might they be going? We'll keep an eye on them. We got a base going down here for GameFriend. That's going to be base number 4. And nice infrastructure set up here. A couple of these solar habitats powering things up. This one's on the Machine Lab, which is going for the Plasma Arc Infuser. That's going to upgrade the Atlases. And then the Peak Performance, which fully powers up the weapon after it uses jump jets. Okay, okay. I was not sure of that one. So the Atlas upgrades are done. And it's time for... they're now starting the Vulcan upgrades. Yeah, I was like, do we have Atlases? There's one slowly waddling its way across. The evac above being like, too bad, buddy. You're on your own. What's that? A little scout fiend here. And it looks like GameFriend's going to take out this camp here on the way through, making it look easy. And what has Dutchy got here back to help? He's still on those Weavers. Got some more Hellborn. it's not clear that he's got a lot more here. Maybe it's upgrade. Actually, we do not actually have the Molten Touch yet for the Hellborn, which is going to be a problem when these two armies face off. We're going to get that first skirmish here. There are a couple Gravens with some nice sticky bombs. The sticky bomb's going to slow things, of course. Just a single Hornet above. Atlas being dropped down, but getting lashed in and stunned and then taken out by the Hellborn. So pretty good. There's another one in the back with a bubble on it, but almost all of the Weavers are taken out now. Hellborn are in retreat as the Hedgehogs are chasing them down. A few more arrive. A Brute in the back doing the little hokey pokey. Can't turn himself around. That's not what it's all about. The Hellborn are getting enough DPS to chase the Hedgehogs away. And in fact, looks like a lot of the Hedgehogs were taken out. Only 3 left with a few Graven there. So Hellborn are still pretty good. And Dutchy's able to push back. The Atlas on the high ground, getting some nice shots. Shadowflyer's doing their best, but not being able to kill the evac. And the Hellborns take out the Vision Tower here, or reclaim it. Sky Mine. I guess Sky Mines don't claim towers. So Dutchy pushed GameFriend back, but GameFriend is not giving up that easily. He's going to be putting down his 5th base here. And all game, GameFriend has been a little bit ahead in the economy. And he's just going to rebuild. And still has a little bit of a supply lead. So if you can get an engage that puts that supply to good use, he should be able to push on through here. And this is what he's going to try and do. He's going to come up the ramp, fight into the Vision Tower. It's not great when you have Hellborn occupying the high ground up here. But here comes some Helicarriers. If you need something to deal with an entrenched position, how about some bombing runs? Atlas has dropped down. Some nice shots from Hedgehog, or from the Hellborn, sorry. Shadow Flyers impact on the Helicarriers, but don't get any kills. And now it's Dutchy in full retreat, as this army is a tough one to fight. Atlas Blast, bombing runs. Hellborn are being deleted, and that's going to be a single G out of Dutchy. Alright, let's get into the second game between these two. Once again, in the Blue Infernal, this is Dutchy. And his opponent, the GameFriend. Everyone needs a GameFriend in their life. That's a friend you play games with, of course. And GameFriend is a good GameFriend to have. Unless he sends his scout to your base to bite on your Hexen's feet and make your imps feel unsafe in their working conditions, then he is a cruel dog master. And he's come out. Oh, he's found the cabbage. Oh, he tried to kiss the cabbage, but didn't get close enough. And it's gone for command post first. So nothing fancy over here. There we go. Rack's coming around. Whereas it's a mushroom shrine up here for Dutchy. No expansion, which is a little weird on Ruination. Ruination's a big map, and it's not really a huge risk for putting your shrine down here. So it must mean that he's looking to do some shenanigans. And the shenanigans I'm seeing here are the first 50 Ethereum dumped into a ritual chamber. And we'll see where that next 50 go. He's only half done the ritual chamber, so he could be pumping out some gaunts right now. But isn't. It might be preserving his Luminite so he can pump out some more imps. when that shrine just finished there, but then also wants to get that research started to make sure has enough, and maybe we'll see some gaunts now. No gaunts yet, actually. Interesting. There we go. First gaunts. It looks like everything else was spent on imps. We're at 11 and 7. And oh, and a lot of luminite got dumped into this shrine at some point. I missed that. And the gaunts got pumped out, but they didn't do nothing. They're just sitting there on defense. More gaunts. Now Dutchy's gonna push out a little bit. And oh, plague axes are done. So part of the delay there was waiting for the plague axes to finish. GameFriend is on 3 lancers now. And Dutchy's gonna try and get a little bit of a fiend force going. That's the idea behind this build. Although I wonder about the timing here. It looks like GameFriend is thinking, hey, this is the time to go punch some imps in the face with my Lancy boys. And they're moving out. And we did get a bunch of fiends here. Oh, Lancer boys are like, let me just go straight for the speed count. That's probably where you are, Dutchy. And I'm going to make your life a little bit challenging. But then he runs away. Interesting choice. It's just a little bit of a showing, hey, check out my 3 lancers. I got 3. How much do you got? Oh, you got a lot more stuff? Guess I'm going to run away. Skull comes to scout it some more. And okay, Dutchy coming out again. Skull impacts one of the lancers. Lancer's headed home. But wait a second. Wait just a second. There's a Vulcan coming with a medtech. And so the Lancers push in. Now there's some nice farm positioning here. But the first Fellhawk gets taken out. We do have a Weaver. Gets a lash on one of the Lancers. And the Fiends are really getting taken out. And that's really clutch shields up on the Lancer there to keep it alive. It would be nice to get another lash, hopefully on the Vulcan there. Any damage done here would be great. All those Lancers make it away, and as another Vulcan shows up. Looks like Fiends. Did those Lancers die to the Infest? I think they may have. It's an interesting little dance here at the front of Dutchy's base. Ooh! Once again, GameFriend just having really luck with his units, being able to see the drop on the way. So GameFriend's going to push in the front, and the Weavers are going to do their best. But, oh no, you got to drop down if you're going to do the damage. We get a Manifest Shroudstone there. We get more lashing coming in. And here we go. Drop on down. Only a single Bob taken out. Take that. Yeah. Focus fire a few of the weak ones down. And now we're getting a pretty good show over here. Bye-bye Bobs. Get some more Bobs. Yep. Get some Fiends popping out. That's what you need. Everyone loads up. Those Bobs were amazingly resilient. Drop going into the main. Ethereum workers already pulled. Actually, they're put right back on, saying, "I dare ya. We got Lancers here, or sorry, we got Vulcans here. Another Vulcan showing up. There ain't nothing you're gonna do, buddy. Buzz off." And Dutchy's just hoping to. Oh, he's like, fine. Silly, tricked ya. Tricked ya. Sentry post gets focus fired. I think going for the Bobs is the better idea here, although there's now a repair turret. Those sentry posts are a little bit out of control. They can do everything. And double sentry posts over here, so this drop is not going to get anything done. So going for the sentry post, yeah, I think you just go for the bob. But see, the bob just goes inside, and you can rotate your bobs. And what you don't realize is when your bob goes inside, it gets healed up by the repair turret. It's, again, a little much. Just a little bit. I'm curious. I think that's just to get you some white health going. Actually, there's a perma there, so that's probably there to actually scout. And it's permanent because when Dutchy landed the Harbinger, of course, it created Shroud. So now it's GameFriend who's back out on the map. Dutchy, where did it fly all the way home? It was, oh, there it is. Just stopped in the middle of the map. But we do have a fourth base up here for Dutchy. I guess it's third base technically, as this is a Therium mining base. Lots of Therium income. Lots and lots of good Therium income. And I hear... Oh, it's over here. I'm like, I hear Vulcan shooting. They're over here. And out on the map, but not being aggressive. Just out taking some camps for now. Bob's over here going for like Super Ninja base. And this is a very well saturated base over here for Dutchy. He needs another base. So these Bobs putting down their base. Well, GameFriend says I'm gonna move into the front. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna drop some sky mines. Pop a few sky mines out and go down for this vision camp. It's not clear if I don't think the sky mines were scouting this path over here and seeing the Bobs. That would be super clever move to put one over there just to do that. On 13. It used to say 18, so I wonder what that was about. Maybe some transferred Bobs. Oh, maybe it's this. But, okay. Looks like GameFriend figured out this hidden base and is going to go straight for the shrine. We get a manifest Shroud Stone, so the Shroud Stone starts to get focused down. It goes down, and we're looking at Vulcans on top of Imps here. Actually, those are Flame Imps. And the Vulcans get taken out. And now we got Gaunt's leading the charge back here. Bye-bye to the shrine. And GameFriend's going to try and retreat out from the bottom here to avoid having to fight into this army. And Dutchy's just going to put down his base again. Now remember, this base was put down, but I don't think GameFriend scouted it yet. I'd say that was a pretty good win for GameFriend there. With the exception that the Flame Imps were able to take out a lot of units. Now, relying on his mobility, GameFriend's going to try and rotate really quickly up to the top here, forcing this slower army to march its way across the map to try and engage. And that means some of these buildings, some of these workers are going to go down. Dutchy's now made it back to his base. The rest of these slower units have pulled back. And now we got Flame Imps engaging again, doing some pretty good hits. And that means GameFriend's gonna retreat. Wow, GameFriend's up to 6-ish bases. I mean, this is technically 4th Luminite base. But 2 scrapyards on the double Theriums as well. So definitely maintaining a really nice income. Whereas Dutchy also has this base up. This base is rebuilt. And Dutchy's trying to get back in it, but now we're at helicarrier status. And the helicarriers are moving in through this sort of vulnerable position over here on the right-hand side. Hedgehog's trying to move around, but some of them stuck behind the Vulcans. Another Vulcan gets lashed in. And GameFriend decides attacking down into this sort of defensive position. Not the best. And Flame Imps come running in from a huge flank, but nice split from GameFriend to keep a lot of those units alive. Say a lot of them, but not all of them. And GameFriend's in full retreat. Some nice bombing runs. Don't quite get any of the gaunts that he is aiming for. Where are you going, GameFriend? Where are you headed? Gonna take out this... Okay, very curious. Maybe he thought that was a base. Maybe he saw the shroud down there. It was like, oh, you got a base down here? I gotta kill it. Meanwhile, Dutchy's pushed out. And at, like, with this force... Oh, there's a couple Atlas there that would be pretty helpful in the defense. But by themselves, I don't think they could. And Dutchy's pulling back. The space... saturated. This one oversaturated. And now it's Dutchy, I think, who's going to the south thinking maybe I should take out a base of GameFriends. Bunch of Bobs transferring. More Bobs transferring. They're going to run into Gaunts. And, well, they're just going to healing hug each other. That keeps them alive for a while, but the Miasma, that's definitely the boon to the Bobs. And they all go down, turning into a bunch of Fiends. But now it's Helicarriers above with Hornets, support. Bombing runs coming down, taking out a lot of the Weavers we see there. And now, wow, really nice bombing runs. And it looks like these units are going to get chased out. And star, a GG. Alright, we're back in it. This is going to be game number 3, featuring these two once again. In the blue Vanguard, this is GameFriend. And his opponent, for the third time, this is Dutchy. And we're playing on Titan's Causeway. Now, this is going to give a slightly different kind of flow to the game, for sure. Those last two games played out on larger maps. This is definitely a smaller one. Very curious. At the beginning of the early access, I did not like this map. Way too many chokes, confusing to see where everything went. But once I learned, oh, you can kind of break down some of the trees, and now you're going to have cleaner rush distances. It's better. It's not my favorite map, but it's not my least favorite map either. And at this point in the early access, where we've been playing the same maps for the most part for the entire time, the entire launch of the game so far, you're starting to get a little bit. We know these maps really, really well, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's some of us who I think are getting so used to them that it's maybe hard to imagine having a bunch more maps. Now, GameFriend tried to harass Dutchy there, but Dutchy did a good job of keeping his units alive and keeping a few Fiends chasing the dog down. So the dog had run all the way back, get a cabbage. And so far, Dutchy's doing a good job. 2 Conclaves following the vault. And we do see that scout coming back. And a nice little highway of effigies here. And splitting off all of his Fiends. Ooh, and getting the dog. Clutch. And then bring the Fiends back to that extra DPS and taking out the Shadow Demons. So far, really good for Dutchy. Third base actually on the way out as well. Before the 3-minute mark. And it's double mech bay over here, which I'm sure we know that means Hedgie's on the way. A couple hedgehogs on the way indeed. And I heard some Lancers And they're down here trying to creep that out, while Dutchy's definitely getting ahead on the creeping. Third camp already creeped out, while first camp is still just going down over here for GameFriend. And here comes some fiends. And they have nefarious intentions. Run right past the solar. That might have been a good target. And unable to get a Bob. Other Bob's body blocking. I don't think it would get the 600. Yeah, you need a lot of hits to take it out, but it was kind of what I liked about it. It's in a bad position for the Bobs to come and repair, and if you put your fiends like on this side, they have to run all the way around to get there. You're gonna get it. It's just at that particular moment there were hedgehogs close enough nearby that the fiends probably wouldn't have DPS'd it down. They would have just got it low. So that means, you know, in this particular case, Dutchy didn't necessarily lose. He hadn't got a Bob either, and he got some good scouting information. So you do your best you can. If you can ever get a habitat or that, you know, you're just lucky. And speed camp being taken out here by GameFriend. A little late. This fiend's still just chilling over here looking for ninjas. It's on ninja watch. But third base already up. There's a third base here on the way. Is that a habitat? Looks like it. Nope, sentry post. And here come the hedgehogs around the other side. Targeting that effigy line. Nice lash. Another lash. Not seeing any Vulcans yet. The hedgehogs become the worthy target of those lashes for sure. And GameFriend's going to retreat a bit. And here we go. There come the Vulcans. Like, are we going to not even see them at all? Or is it just... we're not hitting that time yet. And it's actually Dutchy who's going to be also kind of out on the map, if you want to call it this. Going for this camp. Oh, yeah, just getting the last hit there, it looks like. It's not clear. Maybe one of the hedgehogs stole it. And again, look at this highway. Brilliant. Brilliant. And boom, another one. Now remember, a little while ago, the effigies were buffed so that if you put them down permanently, that is on top of Shroud, they refresh right faster. Their cooldown is only 8 seconds. That means you can build that highway faster as long as you're actually on Shroud. Otherwise, the cooldown is 20 seconds. So 4 Vulcans now, and they take out this Luminite camp. That's going to help with the income. Skull here. Also, Fireball's taking down trees. It's interesting that the effigies have been going this way, but the expansion pattern's this way. I wonder if Dutchy's doing that intentionally to kind of try and mislead a little. He's already going for that double Ethereum over here. We see his units positioning over here. Maybe with the intention to bust these trees and come in here and smash this base. It does kind of look like that. Although, no, it's going to be from the high ground. I mean, this is also a really good move, but I think it doesn't hurt to knock down those trees. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. Now there's going to be an engage up on the high ground. And that actually plays to Dutchy's favor. He doesn't want to fight in the chokes. But GameFriend does want to force him to fight in the chokes. And Dutchy wisely saying, I'm not going to do what you want. That's how I lose. Instead, I'm just going to stay here. Dropping another effigy. And a nice slash on one of the Vulcans. And on the second one. Really good stasis drones here on the Weavers. And I think Dutchy does need to target some of those stasis drones so that he can free those Weavers up. That's a clutch DPS there. Regardless, he was able to win that battle. And another nice slash there. Can he get... Oh, when did he get there? I didn't even see. Was that the Atlas or the Hedgehog? But he did get another lash off. And more Hellborn showing up here. And a Meg. Good old Papa Meg. Is he upgraded? No. Hellborn upgraded? Not yet. But it doesn't matter. They can rain down their fiery basketballs from the high ground. And even with this matrix of repair, Hellborn doing their absolute best. There is this Atlas drop that's kind of giving them a pain in the butt. I did like that being pushed around with Fireball in your hand. That was a cool image. Lots of Sentinels here, and they're clutch, like I said, for these stasis drones. And now we see them attacking the stasis drones to free their fellows. Shadow Flyers getting some nice impact. Weaver's getting lured down to the low ground. And once again, it's Sentinels coming forward, maybe to try and do some stasis drones. But there's just a lot of Hellborn here. Actually, I lied, there's only 4. Oh, that's because the other Hellborn are over here. There's 3 more over here. Making kind of a cool concave here. Sentinel coming to try and do so. I didn't know Sentinels had an attack, to be honest. Or an auto attack. And now this base is being retreated from by GameFriend. And the units just freely walk down the ramp and destroy the command post. Single Bob didn't get reorders that he should be going home and starts trying to mine. Someone should file a complaint with the Union, if you ask me. How could I be sent into a war zone like this? Scrapyard going down up here. What's up here? Oh, some Shadow Flyers just shadow flying around. And it looks like this army is going to try and come around and do something. But it is Dutchy with the supply lead. And these creeps are going to get taken out, but... Oh no! Oh no! It's one reason why I don't like the particular rally style that's very popular among pros right now, which is you just grab all your shrines and rally them to one base. And then pump out 12 imps, and then... I can definitely see the advantages of it, but the disadvantages are you have a ton of imps just marching across the map back and forth, alerting where they are. Very nice. Shadow Flyers take that out. And the Shadow Flyers are getting chased a little bit by GameFriend's army. Whereas Dutchy's army, where is Dutchy's army? There it is. It's not chasing anything around because it's super slow and it's just very slowly moving across the map. These ooh, double stasis drone on the double drop. I wonder what you do in this situation for either of them. Here come the Shadow Flyers. Ooh. Wow, nice distraction. As the Shadow Flyers come in and get all these kills, the Harbingers are able to get away. Now we got the army versus army battle, and lashes incoming. The Harbinger's on the high ground, managing to create a little bit of this sort of zoning or concave, forcing GameFriend all the way back to his ramp. There he's got some Atlases. More Stasis drones going down, but it's just a whole bunch of Hellborn here. And Hellborn are getting freed from their Stasis drones. And now we do have a nano defense bubble. But unfortunately, GameFriend doesn't send it. And a second one goes down. And a lot of Hellborn shots. That's all you really need. Lots of Molten Touch now. And we're hearing Exos pop all over the place. Despite the nano defense bubbles. And this is going to be probably it as we watch all those Exos go down. A Magmadon shows up. Stomping in just to get some extra kills. And that's a GG in the final game.